Hey designers, and welcome. My name is Jax, and today we're going to be looking at creating a form for the door model we created in part 1. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I recommend just go and watch that one first. That video we show how to create this door from scratch. So if you completed part 1, this is basically what you'll see. It's the complete door. And today we're just going to look at adding a form to control the door, right? So what we need to look at is adding the opening angle to the form so we can control this on a form. We need to control the door handing, the door width, the door height, the wall thickness, and then we just want a simple display of the wall opening width and height as well. All right. Now, as usual, you can click on the link in the description to download the tutorial document. It's basically the manual that can also help you to do this tutorial if you prefer to do it through the manual itself. So this also shows you step by step how to create each element as we go through this video. Something you'll get with your tutorial manual is a folder with these 4 PNG images. We're going to be using these in our form as well, right? So you can just copy them and paste them where your files are. So let's start. The first thing we're going to do is go to the Forms tab, and then we're going to right click in the empty space and say Add Form. So here is our form panel. Okay, so I'll just show you what this entails. On the left here, you get your parameters here. So this is the list of parameters we created. So this is under the user parameters here. Okay, so these are just the parameters you add on your model. And then here is a rules tab. So here we've got a list of rules that we created. Okay, so you can also check your external rules here. And then also iProperties. So any iProperties that you might want to add to your form. So this is where to get them. Okay. On the bottom left corner here, this is our toolbox. So these are just a couple of tools we can use in our form. And then here, the big panel over here, this is our working panel for the form itself. All right, so I'll show you exactly what this does in a bit. And then here at the bottom, this panel here, this is the properties panel. So each element that you add to the form would display the properties for that element in this bottom section here. So the first thing we do is you'll have the form, right? So this little icon here, form 1, this represents the whole form. Over here, you'll see the live update or the preview of your form, all right? So while you're adding elements and stuff, it will basically just update here and show you how it would look like. So the first thing we'll do here is if you just click on form 1 there, you highlight it, and then you can rename it. So here, we're just going to rename it to model parameters. So you'll notice where your preview is. So it updated to model parameters here. Okay, so now we're going to add a picture tool, right? So the tool picture here, we're just going to drag it and just release it here in the empty space in the form panel. Okay, so we're just going to release it here. You will see the image preview here started popping up. Okay, so if you select picture here, you can see the properties for that picture. So I'm just going to click on the size limits here. And then I'm just going to go to the little browse button here. And then here, we're going to enter 350. And this is the width, the minimum width. And then the minimum height is also 350. And then the maximum width is 500, and the maximum height is also 500. Okay, then we just go OK. And then you'll notice your preview panel here updated as well. And then the next thing is we're going to browse for an image. All right. So the image we're looking for is the opening angle. So the opening angle.png, this one here. So we're just going to open that one. and you'll see the image appeared on the preview. Okay, so then next we're going to need to add a user parameter under the picture. So if we go to parameters, we're looking for the opening underscore angle parameter. So we're just going to take it and drag it and also just drop it here in the empty space. So it enters it underneath the picture. So you'll see your picture, and then underneath it is the opening angle parameter, exactly how you actually place it in your form panel. And another thing we can do is rename our parameter. So we can just simply click on the opening angle, and then I'm just going to take away the underscore. Okay. So you can rename them. Okay. And it doesn't affect anything in your parameters because Inventor keeps the inventor name here, right, on the right hand side. So you can name it anything you want and it will just keep the inventor name here as well. Then next what we're going to do is we're going to go to the edit control type here where it says text box. We're going to just hit the little drop down and we're going to select slider. And then here at slider properties, we're going to expand that and we're going to set a minimum value of 0. So I'm just going to change the 1 to 0. And the maximum value is 180. So this is of course degrees, right? And then step size, I'm just going to make it 5, right? So every 5-degree increment, it will actually move. All right. So when you move the slider here, it would go 5 degrees increments until 180. All right. So then next up, we're going to add a couple more tools, right? So the first tool we're going to need is the empty space. So I'm just going to go down here and empty space is there. So we just drag and drop that underneath as well. And then after that, it's going to be a splitter. So I'm just also going to drop the splitter there. And then a label. Okay, so the label we're going to rename. We're going to call that one more parameters. So what it did here is it created a little space between this box over here. And then it added a line, so the splitter line. And then just under the line, it added the label that we renamed to more parameters. So we are done for now with this form here. So we just need to add a couple of more forms so that we can come back to this one and add those forms here under more parameters. So what we're going to do is just going to go OK. And what you'll see is you'll see the button model parameters here popped up. So in the Forms tab, we can just click on this button here and it will just bring up this form. So just to see quickly if it did what it's supposed to do, we're just going to take the slider here and hold it down and drag it. And then what you expect to see is the door opening at 5-degree intervals, okay, until 180 that we specified. And that's fine. Okay, we can also then just add the degree manually. All right. So this is working perfectly. So I'm just going to go done. Okay. So we're going to add another form. So just right click and add form. This one we're going to rename to door handing. And then once again, we're going to add a picture, right? Just drop it in there. And what we're going to do is just change the size limits exactly like before. So 350 minimum and 500 maximum. And then we're going to select an image again. So this one would be handing, right? So this handing.png thumbnail, go open. And then we can see the door handing image here. And then we're going to just take the door handing parameter here and just drag it and drop it in the form panel. And then what we're also going to do is just rename this or just change it to door handing, right? So just take out the underscore. And what we're going to need here is the edit control type again, and then combo box, the drop down with combo box here. We're just going to say here radio group. Okay, so just changed it to 2 little tick boxes here. And we are finished with this form as well. So I'm just going to go OK. So it just created the button just below the model parameters, door handing. So if we just go and click on that, then we can just quickly see if this works. So door handing is now selected left hand side. So we're just going to go to right hand side. Okay, excellent. So this works very well. Okay, then I'm going to go done here. And then we're going to add another form. So this one we're going to call wall thickness. Then again, we're gonna just drop a picture in here, and then I'm just gonna change the size limits again. Okay, and then here we're gonna browse for the picture wall thickness.png, this one here. Open, and you can see the thumbnail. Then we're gonna add the wall thickness parameter, right, just like this, and then I'm just gonna take the underscore away. Maybe at the end, I'm just gonna put a bracket in T, capital T, just like the thumbnail here. Okay, so we are done with this form again, so I'm just gonna go okay. So it added the wall thickness form for us. Okay, so there is something I have to show you. I'm just gonna open the parameters, and then I'm just gonna right click on the value for the wall thickness, so the multi-value here, and then say edit multi-value list. I'm going to take the 100 millimeter and a 222 here. I'm just going to delete them. Okay, so the 100 millimeter is a mistake I made. So there is no way you can use 100 millimeter for this frame here. And then the 222 here is just too close to the 220. So I just thought we're going to keep it simple. And then I'm just going to delete those. And we're left with 110, 220, and 330. Okay, so I hope it didn't inconvenience you too much. So I'm just going to go okay, and then now the list here is changed. All right, so I'm going to go done. And then we're just going to go test our wall thickness form. So I'm just going to open it, and then we're just going to look at the 110, the 220, and then the 330. So these work. That's fine. Okay, so now we're going to add another form. So I'm going to right click and say add form. And here we're going to name it door size. Okay, so what we need for door size is once again the picture, right? So I'm just gonna set the limits here again, 350, 350, 500, 500, and okay. And then the thumbnail image is the door sizes here, .png. Go open. Okay, so this is what we have. Then we're going to add two parameters, the door width and the door height. I'm going to rename them. Door width in brackets. I'm going to say here, this is the capital W, right? If you look at the thumbnail here, the door width, capital W here, okay? And then the same with the height. So the door height, capital H. Okay, and then we're going to add the empty space tool here just underneath, and then the splitter, and then the label. And the label I'm going to rename to wall opening. And then our two display parameters, the wall opening width and wall opening height. So this is where they go. So I'm just going to add them both. And I'm just going to take away all the underscores. And then here in brackets is the small w. And then for the height, we're going to do the same. And this is going to be the h. All right, so we're done with this form. So we can go OK. And we're just going to go and test them. So the door size, we can say here, let's go to 850. So that worked. Let's make this 2 meters. That worked, and we can see our display values here if they update. So you can see 844, that's fine, 2.2 meters, and the 2047 here. Let's see if that changes. 2247, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna go done. Okay, so we're gonna just add a single line rule now. So under the rules tab, I'm just gonna add a new rule, and this one we're gonna call it door handing form. Okay, so door handing form, and then here we're going to just grab a snippet. So the forms, you'll see the forms, expand it, and then just show form. I'm just going to double click on it, and in the quotes, the form 1, I'm just going to replace with door handing, and then I'm just going to go save and run, and then you see your form door handing pops up. Okay, so we're going to go done. Okay, so we're going to do the same now. So I'm just going to add another rule. This one is going to be for the wall thickness form. Okay, then we're going to do the same. We're just going to go grab the form snippet, show form, and this would be the wall thickness. Save and run, and we expect the form to show up, so this is fine. And then we're going to do the same again. This one is going to be door size form. Okay, and then here we do exactly the same form snippet, double click, rename. This is going to be door size. Okay, save and run, and this is fine. Okay, so these three, right, these three rules here, basically all they do is if we run them, they just open a form. So if we right click and say run, it just opens the form. So this is basically like a button. Okay, so we want to add these three buttons to our master form. So if we go back to forms, and the master form is the model parameters. So I'm just going to right click on the button and say edit. And then here on this panel over here, the rules tab, you can see those three forms over there. So all we want to do is just add these three buttons to the form. So I'm just going to drag the door handling first, and then wall thickness, and then door size. So you notice the buttons pops up here. So I'm just going to go and just take out the form on all of them. And then we are left with the three buttons like this. Okay, so let's go and test this. So I'm just going to go done, and then here, model parameters. So this is our form. So if we click on door handling, it should bring up the door handling form, just like this. Okay, so that's fine. Go done. The wall thickness here, that's fine. Door size, and this is the door size form. This is perfect. So just one little thing I can show you quick is if you do have these multi-layer forms. Okay, so it's this form and then it brings up another form. What you can do is if you don't want to be able to edit the model or work on the model while you have the form open, I can just quickly show you how to do that. So we can go edit. And then here, if we go to the model parameters, okay, if you go down with the property panel here, you can see modal. So modal means that you can only use the form if it's open. It wouldn't allow you to do anything behind the form when the form is open. So if we go true here and go OK, and let's open that form. So it means that I cannot do anything on the model or in Inventor while the form is open. So it doesn't allow us. So on the door handling, you can do the same. Wall thickness, right? So the wall thickness, it's the same. Door size, basically the same. So you don't have to turn the model on for all of them because the model is on for the master form. But what it would do is if you go behind, then it will just layer the master form in front of the other rules. So if you do model the other forms, basically what will happen is it wouldn't layer the master form. Okay, so if you do click on the background, so door handling is now modeled, right? And the difference is it wouldn't layer. Okay, so it will just keep this form on the top layer, where the others that's not modeled can just be hidden behind the master form. So that's basically what that does. So it's absolutely your choice how you want to control this. So this is the form for our model for now. Okay, so the next tutorial will basically convert this door to a double door. So what we'll do is, this is the basic form, right? So if we grow this model, the part where we're going to add different door types, right, to the model, we'll add some more buttons and more controls to the form. So this is going to be our basic form until we add more elements to it. So this is more than enough to handle what we want to do now. So this form is going to stick until we add more parameters to it. I hope this was very helpful to you. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when the next video is being uploaded and available for you to watch. And thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.